So what do you do when violence keeps happening at your kid's school, often in the very same place? It can make you feel completely powerless. But what if I told you there's a powerful and frankly often overlooked legal tool that can force schools to finally deal with these danger zones? Let's break down exactly how it works.
You know, if you've ever gone to a school with a safety concern, you've probably heard this one. We can't be everywhere at once. It's the classic response, right? And it's designed to shut the conversation down, framing violence as this random, unpredictable thing that nobody could possibly prevent.
But here's the thing. What if that's just completely missing the point? What if the problem isn't about being everywhere to stop random acts, but about being somewhere very specific to stop a predictable pattern?
Okay, so to really get how this shift in perspective changes everything, let me tell you a story, a true story, and it's all about one single, unsupervised stairwell.
So it begins with a 9th grader getting assaulted. And the school's response? Basically, tough luck, wrong place, wrong time. A month later, another kid is punched in the exact same spot. The school's brilliant advice? Well, just use a different staircase. Then just 2 months after that, the first student is attacked again, and this time we're talking serious injuries, a concussion and a broken wrist.
So you gotta wonder, right? How many times does this have to happen in the exact same spot before it's a real problem? Well, the parents ask for the records, and the answer? It's just shocking. 11. That's right, 11 documented physical fights in that one stairwell in just 18 months.
And here's the real kicker, the thing that just blows this whole thing wide open. This wasn't some new development. A safety audit done by the school itself 2 years earlier had already flagged that exact stairwell as a high-risk zone. They knew. This wasn't a surprise. This was a documented failure to act on their own data.
And that failure to act, that's where this incredible legal tool comes into play. Honestly, this is the secret weapon for parents who feel like they're hitting a brick wall with the administration. It's a concept called premises liability. And look, it sounds complicated, but it's really not. It just means that a property owner, and yep, that includes a school, has a legal duty to keep their place reasonably safe. The key part is that they are responsible for fixing dangers they knew about or should have known about.
And for schools, this duty is on a whole other level. And it makes sense, right? I mean, first off, kids have to be there because of compulsory attendance laws. The courts also recognize that schools act in loco parentis, which is just a fancy Latin way of saying in the place of a parent. They control the whole environment, and our kids can't just up and leave if they feel unsafe. Okay, so here's the million-dollar question. How do you take these awful individual stories and turn them into a pattern, something the legal system can actually see as negligence? Well, it all starts with changing how you talk about the problem. There's a fantastic term for this: geographic negligence. Think about that. It's not just random negligence, it's negligence tied to a specific place. It's about a school knowing a spot is dangerous and doing nothing. The problem isn't the kids, it's the geography.
The source material for this explainer puts it in this really powerful way. We convert trauma into code. I love that. It's about taking all that pain and frustration and turning it into cold, hard data that nobody can ignore. It's an undeniable, documented pattern.
This brings us to another key legal idea, and it's the perfect comeback when a school says, "Oh, we didn't know." It's called constructive notice. And what it says is, yeah, maybe you didn't actually know, but you should have known. The pattern of incidents was so obvious, so clear, that ignorance is no excuse. Every single incident report helps build that constructive notice, making it harder and harder for them to defend doing nothing.
All right, so this is all great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Well, there is a step-by-step playbook, a protocol that any parent can use to build their case and force the school to act.
And when you follow this, you're not just a worried parent anymore. You're shifting your role. You're becoming an investigator, methodically gathering the proof of a systemic failure.
Okay, let's break it down. Step 1, map it out. Document exactly where this stuff is happening. Step 2, prove they knew. File a public records request for every single incident report from that location. Step 3, document the failure. Go there during that time of day. Take pictures of that empty, unsupervised hallway. Step 4, demand action. Don't just complain, request a specific, written safety plan. And Step 5, this is the big one. Use the magic words. Start dropping premises liability and constructive notice in your emails. Trust me, that gets their attention real fast.
But this can go even deeper than just general safety, because once you start mapping these hotspots, sometimes a much more disturbing pattern starts to show up. And that's when this whole thing can shift from simple negligence to a serious civil rights issue.
It boils down to this. Selective enforcement is discrimination. When a school chooses where to apply its safety resources and where not to, and those choices create zones of danger for certain groups of students, that's a huge problem.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It's like a tale of two zones in one school building. You've got your high supervision areas, right? The main office, the front entrance. But then you have the other zones, the known violence hotspots, those unsupervised stairwells, the back courtyards. And what you might find is that those dangerous areas are disproportionately in parts of the school where minority or disabled students are. When that happens, it's not just a safety failure anymore. It could be a Title IX violation, which is a big deal under federal civil rights law.
So, it all comes down to this one final, really uncomfortable question. If a school's own data, their own incident reports prove that a place is dangerous, is their failure to put a single adult there really a budget problem? Or is it a choice about whose safety actually matters?